Hey y'all, hey. Welcome to But Also, the real talk podcast for real life moments. I'm your host, G Dazzle, but some of y'all know me as G Daz. Most of y'all just call me G, your girl, your friend, your sis who is here to keep it real with you. Now, if this is your first time joining, go on ahead and subscribe right now. Subscribe at YouTube at G plus Dazzle and follow the show on the socials at @butalso_podcast. And if you're listening to your favorite podcast app, make sure you're locked in there as well. I promise you'll thank me later. Now, this podcast is all about diving into life's moments that don't always fit into a neat little box because life isn't always black and white. Here, we talk about the gray, the yes and moments where two things can be true at the same time. Like, we're ready for spring, but also winter said go ahead and run that back. And if there's ever a moment where you're listening and you feel yourself saying, dang, G, you just gonna read my life like that? Yes. Yes, I am. Because we are all living the same life, boo. And that's okay. So whether you're out here figuring it all out or just trying to make it through today, I got you. So we'll talk about the highs, we'll talk about the lows, and all of the messy moments in between. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. So, can we just take a moment and pause and talk about how January feels unnecessarily long? Like, not dramatic, just long for no reason. Like, I promise you, January had to be at least 8 weeks long. At least 8 weeks long. It's dark before you even feel productive, right? It's cold in a way that makes you question your life choices. It's very rare that if you were in a cold weather state, it's very rare that if I go outside and the wind starts to blowing and creep up my jacket in a very disrespectful way, your girl is cussing. I cuss at the wind a lot. I cuss at the cold because I'm tired of being cold and, well, shit, it's just irritating me. So I got to cuss it out. The way it disrespects me, I have to cuss it out. Um, and the sun is on big break. Okay. The sun is out here teasing us. Like, I know there are a couple of places that had 70 plus degree days on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, back to the disrespectful, chilling, and cold temperatures. I'm going to say it once, I'm probably going to say it twice. The cold is just disrespectful. It's just disrespectful. And you check the calendar and you're like, is it still the 12th of January? And I know that it's not because we're officially in March, but baby, January and February felt like it was on slow drag. January moved like it had nowhere to be. Then February came in a little bit confused. Like the first half of February was slow dragging right along with January, but on the tail end of February, that thing wanted to fast forward all of a sudden. But, of course, Black History Month, we only get 28 days. Of course, it would be the shortest month of the year, but that's another gripe for another soapbox for another day. So stay tuned for that one. But man, now that it is March and we are all pretending like we've adjusted, I just want to hit on something. Seasonal depression, y'all. Seasonal depression is so real. And I definitely was feeling some kind of way in these winter months. Still am a little bit. And I know I'm not the only one. There's a couple of people that I've talked to in my circle, in my village, who are just like, I can't shake this feeling. I'm just feeling a little down in the dumps. Can't figure out why. And it's the sun, y'all. It's the sun. Seasonal depression is so real. When you don't see that sunlight consistently, it affects your mood. Like, I never realized until over these last couple of winters how much of a natural light girly that I am. Like, literally, part of my routine when I wake up in the morning is hop up out of bed, turn my swag on, take a look in the mirror and say what's up. And then I pop over to my windows, crack open them blinds to let a little sunlight in. And I need that. The sun coming in my windows through my blinds, it just awakens me. And when you don't have that and it's just cloudy and overcast, oh my gosh, it just makes it really, really hard, right? And so when you don't have that sunlight consistently, it does affect your mood, your motivation, your energy, child, even your patience, because whose patience was thin was mine. Like I told everybody, hey, I got about a one, two good words within me. I got time today. I got time, space, and opportunity today. So if you need someone to get cussed out real good, take your dialing finger, put me on speakerphone, and I'll handle the rest. And I don't know what it is, but something about winter, it can make everything feel heavier than it actually is. So when that first tainch of warm day hits, and yes, I said tainch, which is just a tiny ainch. If you country, you understand what tainch meant. But when you get that first tainch of a warm day and it hits, it's not just nice weather. It feels like relief. It feels like you can breathe. It almost makes you want to open up your windows and let a good cross breeze in. You know, like how they used to do back in the day. Like when you spring cleaning, open up the windows, open up the doors, let a good gust of wind come on in and clear out some of that negative energy, clear out some of that dust, get some good fresh air in your lungs in the crib and get rid of the stale air, right? Um, it's like your nervous system unclenches a little bit, you know? So, but also it's fake. It's fake in the winter months. And I know that they call it fake spring because fake spring, it is a professional manipulator. And what do I mean by that? You're going to have 168, 72, 75, doop doop 45, doop doop 77. Okay, let me get out my Mike Epps bag. I got sidetracked for a second. But you're going to hop into your first 68, 70 something degree weather day. And then we have that ray of hope. I recall even when it was warm, on that one day or 2 days maybe where we had that good weather, baby, I was out in the streets just driving and cruising, and I saw people busting out their shorts, some flippy flappies like it was for real the hot summer of 2026. And I'm like, "Baby, I mean, yes, it's a little warm, warmer than usual, but it ain't summer yet. But when you get that little dose of sunshine, a little bit of little heat on it, man, you just wanna bust out all the stuff. You're like, "I'm taking full advantage of this warm weather that we are having today." And I know, like, all of a sudden, it just makes you wanna start cleaning. You know, that good old-fashioned spring clean, something that you definitely been ignoring for weeks because we've been in hibernation mode. You got piles of clothes everywhere, and if you like me, you know, people who know me know that one of the adult tasks that I despise the most is laundry. I cannot stand every phase and stage of the laundering process. I always say if I could, I would absolutely pay somebody to do this. And I know that there are subscriptions and services out there that do it. I just haven't been adult enough or grown enough to subscribe to them yet. Mind your business. I'm gonna get there when I get there. But especially when it comes to drying clothes and taking them out of the dryer, best believe it's gonna take 3 to 5 business days before they are folded, hung up, and put away. Like they gonna sit for a second. They gonna marinate in a chair or in a pile that I put them in, and they gonna simmer a little bit before I put them up. They gotta get rid of that fresh out the dryer feel. But man, when you get that warm weather, you start wanting to start purging and just getting your life together a little bit and cleaning. You got your music bumping, your good spring cleaning or Sunday cleaning playlist where it's a mix of neo soul, some throwback grooves that your mama and them used to play, or whatever tickles your fancy. But you got the music up a little bit louder because you're like, we about to get into this. I'm in a zone. I'm clearing out. It's time to reset. Okay. And you start romanticizing your life. Like we got own little montage going. You like, this is my season. And then after you finally settle into what is your season because of that nice, warm, good day that you had, 2 days later, 42 degrees, 30 degrees, and some on the Northeast, 20-something degrees because it's just disrespectful like that. The wind be cutting through your clothes, just blowing up your jacket all through your sleeves. Clouds coming over with an attitude, and you got an attitude right on back because why is it cloudy again? Like, why? We just had this good weather. I don't understand where this cloudiness clouds are coming from. And I don't know what it is about this 2026 season in particular. I don't know if Mercury is getting her microbraids again because why are we in retrograde? It feels like every other week. So whoever is doing Mercury's microbraids, I'm gonna need y'all to loosen them joints up, loosen them because they tight on sis. They tight on sis and they making her do crazy things and throwing off the weather. And you know we tired of it. We tired, boss. We tired of it. But something's got to shake. Something's got to shake. The weather doesn't know what it wants, how it wants to feel. And fake spring just gives you that fake optimism on layaway. Just enough to believe, just enough to put you on the hook, not too much to commit, but just a little bit. It's a carrot dangle, right? It's just dangling the carrot right in front of your face like, "Oh, warm weather is on the horizon." Psych. No, it's not. Get back in that house. What I tell you. That's what it feels like sometimes with that fake spring. And every year, like clockwork, that first warm day just makes us want to reset everything, right? I know it does for me because the purge, I be on purge mode heavy. I'm talking about resetting closets, habits, energy, just life in general, right? You stand in front of your wardrobe thinking, yeah, I'm evolving. I'm growing. I'm getting rid of these old threads. And that's literally a space that I've been in. I'm like, it's time to shake the scene. It's time to shake it loose and switch it up. And then you start pulling things out. Like, I'm going to give this to the Goodwill. I'm going to donate this. I don't wear this anymore. I haven't seen it in over a year. You're trying stuff on. You're reevaluating and you're questioning outfits and identities and eras. And then halfway through, you realize you weren't trying to declutter. You were trying to feel in control. Because that's what it is. Winter can make you feel stagnant because it's such a long season of cold and there's not a lot of movement, right? Because the cold doesn't allow it. So it can make you feel stagnant, like you don't have control. And that's an odd place to feel, especially if you are a type A person like myself, being in control. And when you don't have control of things that are uncontrollable, it can drive you crazy. I know it drives me a little cray-cray from time to time, but you don't have control. And so that's why you start going in your closet trying to declutter and figure it out because it is one aspect in your life that you feel like you can have control over. So with winter feeling stagnant, that's the beauty of spring. Spring makes you feel capable, right? So we start with what we can reach. It's not about the clothes. It really is not. It's about the momentum, right? It's about proving yourself that movement is possible yet once again and never to give up on it. Because, man, that seasonal depression, boy, it could sneak up on you when you least expect it. It really can. And it shows up in us all in various different ways, whether grand or subtle. So it's a very interesting little fickle little beast. But let's also talk about the annual conversation that we have with ourselves. The second it gets warm, we start renegotiating with our reflections. Like, this is the season. I'm locked in. Like, we back. I'm back and I'm better. You start feeling good about yourself, like those healthy habits that you promised yourself back in January. Now it's warm. So now you could really tap on in, right? Like you start making smoothies, drinking a little green juice. Hell, you even had a salad for lunch. 3 times this week. So you feeling real good. Jeans don't feel as tight as they used to. So it's just like, okay, okay. You channel your inner Jill Scott, go for a long walk because it feels good. You're breathing in all that good air. And so far, you may even push yourself to go back to the gym. Get reacquainted. Because, you and the gym, y'all used to go together real bad until you had a split in December because it was cold. Because who likes going to the gym in negative degree temperatures or in nasty weather? It's not fun. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible. It's very possible. Shout out to all of the gym rats out there who keep it going, who make it a way of life with that dedication. Baby, I always say that I am a fake gym rat. Your girl be in the gym, but does she be in the gym in the winters? No, sirree, Bob. I'm not even gonna hold you a little bit. I can't even fake the funk like I do, because that weather will get me every single time. And then all of a sudden, you're standing in the mirror like, okay, I see this shift. Spring is here. Then reality sets in. It's been 48 hours. But winter had snacks. I never forget one of the jobs that I had in many of my past lifetimes. A coworker of mine used to say that during the winter is when you put on your winter bottom. right? That's when you have all the good snacks, the comfort food that makes you feel warm and toasty on the inside because you need that comfort, right? That's why it's henceforth comfort food. And usually comfort food are not the light things. They got a little weight to them, a little weight on it, but it makes you feel good and cozy on the inside. Winter, when it's dark, you deserve warm clothing and to snuggle up with body heat next to you. So it's easy to sit on a couch with good snacks and comfort with a body next to you feeling all warm and cozy. And that's not failure or anything like that. And no one assumed that it was. It's not failure, but it's coping. That is how we cope with the winter season is, snugging up real nice, snug as a bug with people with good snacks, right? Probably binging on all of the things that you missed or couldn't catch up on. And maybe, be even binging some new things you never would have thought about binging because you had the time. And why not? Why not go through it all in the winter, right? And if we're honest, most of us don't even want a spring body. We want a spring feeling, right? We want to feel lighter when we wake up. We want our energy to stretch further. We want to feel attractive to ourselves again. We want to feel social without forcing it because as millennials, as adults, feeling social in icky weather is never easy because who wants to leave house? Who wants to leave that wonderful establishment that you pay for with the roof over your head that has all those great amenities that you pay for monthly? Why would you want to leave that to go outside in the ickiness and the elements, right? I know I wouldn't. It's hard. It's very easy to be a homebody, especially if you are an extrovert. If you are extrovert, it's very easy to be a homebody in icky weather. I'll say that as an extrovert. Now, introverts, this is probably your safe space where it's just like, this is the best place to be. So, you win some, you lose some, to each their own. And even with that, you can't rush internal alignment because the temperature changed. I'm going to say that again. You can't rush internal alignment because the temperature changed. That's not transformation. That is a seasonal adrenaline rush. Real shifts take longer than a warm weekend. So let's really get into what outside really means. That conversation of outside. Why? Because you ain't been outside all winter long. Now, you may have had a moment or two where you tipped and you toed out. If there was a little something, a gathering, a soiree that happened. And that was fun. It was still cold, and you couldn't wait to get home to get out the cold, but you tipped for a second. But baby, when that spring really hits around, it is something different because that's when you get to step outside. But because America is still ghetto, and another line I love to say, in this economy, outside is not casual anymore. Outside requires a little bit of coordination these days. Outside requires budgeting. Outside requires gas money and even mental preparation because brunch is $47 before tip, right? Parking is another $22, and that's if you find it. One cocktail costs $18 and tastes like it whispered alcohol into the glass. Yet that first sunny Saturday hits and we start texting like, who all outside? Y'all outside? As if outside is free. Because it ain't. It's not. It's not. Outside today, in this economy, in this ghetto America, outside is a luxury plan, okay? That's resort life. Outside, if you afford an outside, oh, you grown. You got money. You grown. Grown on the level like balling out like I replaced all 4 tires on my car at the same time. Big flex, okay? And nowadays, going outside, you got decisions to make. Adult ones. You got to decide, is this the weekend I splurge? Is this the function I want to flex at? Is it worth the Uber surge if I ride sharing? But here's the thing, right? After months of winter isolation, baby, outside feels necessary. It feels like proof that you survived the slow ass season. So we negotiate with ourselves. We outside responsibly, right? We go outside with conditions, which really means one event, strategic spending, and back home at a decent hour because peace will always be priceless, okay? It's the growth. It's the growth because outside don't cost what it used to cost. And whether you inside and going outside even to the grocery store, okay? That's the new club. That's where we balling at, is at the grocery store. Like the favorite club to be is either at Sam's or Costco's, okay? Whatever tickles your fancy. That's the real flex. But let's sit in this for a second. Like I said, seasonal depression doesn't just end because March showed up. Winter can mess up with your rhythm. Less sunlight, it changes your serotonin levels. And we need them tonin levels. We need them tonin levels at peak. Cold weather can keep you indoors, which means you're not being active. And sometimes the isolation of that can get loud. So if you're a singleton and no kids, no pet or whatever, you could feel that. But even if you're not a singleton, kids, pet, spouse, whatever, still that isolation can still do something to you. It can do something to your mentals. And sometimes you may not be able to explain it right away. You might not even realize how much it affected you until the sun hits your face, until you think, oh, okay, I knew I wasn't tripping. That's what I was missing. A little bit of that vitamin D. And that first warm day feels like your brain just unclenched, like you literally feel the sun. If you are a Broadway person like myself, one of my favorite musicals, The Wiz, and I may challenge your black card if you've never seen The Wiz. However, that one scene when they are in the factory and the workers of Eveline's factory are literally shedding their skin, shedding their costume. The sunlight comes in, and literally you see the evilness, the darkness melt away. All of a sudden, it is a brand new day. Can you feel the brand new day? Okay? Now, all my Wiz fans, you know the reference, so follow me here, right? And you just stand in the sun a little bit longer because it feels good on your face. You let the air hit your lungs and you feel present in a way that you haven't in weeks. And it's not dramatic. It may feel dramatic and I may be explaining it dramatically, but it's not dramatic. Baby, that's real. That is real. That's biological. It's emotional. More importantly, that's human. So fake spring feels cruel sometimes because it's just teasing you. Like, why spring got to be a tease like that? Don't nobody like a tease. So because we are so ready to feel better, we are ready to feel consistent, we are ready to feel stable, but healing doesn't follow the forecast. So just because it's warm today doesn't mean everything is aligned tomorrow. And that's okay. It is. And God willing, you just keep on pushing on to the next day or to the next moment where things do align and you get back in alignment with yourself. But alignment with yourself, your star player, that's also another conversation for another day, for another TED Talk. So, fake spring, it teaches restraint, right? It teaches balance. It says enjoy the sunlight, but don't throw away your coat. Don't toss that in the back just yet. It's okay to feel hopeful, but also don't declare victory yet. Start the reset. But don't demand perfection. Be easy on yourself. Give yourself some grace, right? Life moves in seasons, just like friendships, just like relationships, maybe even just like family. Another time for another talk for that one. Energy moves in waves. Progress comes in phases. Sometimes you're blooming, sometimes you just thawing, and sometimes you're just surviving the cold. And sometimes you're doing all three in 1 week, especially how this weather been. But that's the gray. That's the real life that we live in. So, if fake spring already had you reorganizing your closet, purging all the good clothes, doing what you needed to do, updating your playlist, making all types of trips, brunch plans, and convincing yourself that this is your new era, I'm not mad at it, boo. Do what you need to do for yourself. And it's okay because hope is healthy. And sometimes hope is what keeps you hanging on, especially when that's all that it feels that you have is hope. Hang on to that. Don't let nobody take your hope. Just like I said in my previous episode, don't let nobody take your joy. Just don't confuse one warm weekend with a permanent change. So let yourself ease into the light. Let your energy catch up to the season. Let that thaw happen gradually. If this episode made you laugh, nod, or feel a little less alone in this seasonal roller coaster, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button and follow the show everywhere at @budalso_podcast and on the socials at G plus Dazzle so you don't ever miss a moment. So drop a comment and tell me, has fake spring already played in your face this year? Because fake spring definitely played in mine. And I feel some type of way. But it's okay. I am hoping and waiting for the warmer weather to hit. So, all right, y'all. Until next time, keep laughing, keep smiling, and keep embracing all of the moments, the good, the messy, and everything else in between. All right, y'all. I'll holla.